back in, try live. Shady Lady saying give us a song. Kieran, nice one Kieran, lad. Paula G, you alright mate? A lot of people won't even know about this platform, will they? This is the Team Calmac platform, used to be the Team G, didn't it? What's happened is, without me realising what I'm doing, the platform I'm on over there, the Choose a Life Not a Knife platform, it's meant to be just for Choose a Life Not a Knife and coming on and raising awareness. But whilst I've been on that platform, I've been dragged into a load of bullshit, which is that platform get damaged, you know, because the stalker and there's people trying to shut it down. Whereas this platform is the one where, you know, if it goes, it goes. I'll just set up again and crap on again. Give a few months, be back to where it is. But the other one I want to keep it because it's meant to be for the message. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to leave that account alone for a bit now. Let it get healthy again. Less complaints. And then come away from the negative stalker behaviour on there. You know, with ways bringing it onto that platform. Targeting the message again like a scumbag. Well, that's my idea. And it's a positive idea, isn't it? When you start to have positive ideas, what are you doing? You're thinking positive, aren't you? That's right, Stan. Paula G. Lady G baby is in. Goes with the Mo, says Joe. It goes with the Mo, says Joe. Bad boy Bone. Bonesy. Stisach. MTB. Morgan O. Nice one, lad. Yes, Kieran. Kyle 1. Bones, lad. Bones. That's right, Bones, lad. Boss kid, Bonesy. Done the White Peas with Bonesy, then done Loudon Grange with him, and then done somewhere else years later with him. Swale side, I think. From Manchester, Bonesy. Black kid. Making decent dough a few years ago, I'm like, where is he? Anyway, Bonesy, can you hear me? I hope you've turned your life around. Yes, TJ, lad. Haley, Step Blue, MTP Morgan, Stisak, Backbone. You're okay, that mate? There's no help for people who come out of prison, absolutely nothing, says Stan. It's designed to that, it's designed for that, isn't it? Give you nothing so you turn back to the people, you shouldn't be going there. What for? To get some. First thing that every long-term prisoner needs when upon release, I'd say long-term before short term, but it's all necessary for all of them, to be honest. But long-term prisoners, the most vital, important thing for them to not reoffend is accommodation. I don't mean some HMO, I mean a decent studio or a decent one-bed flat or apartment. If you give long-term prisoners that opportunity, why should they get it? Why should they get it? Because if they don't get it, they're committing more crime. Simple. The majority of the lads that are ending back up in custody for reoffending offences is because they've got no secure accommodation, or they don't know how to manage the accommodation they've been given. Like half of the homeless lads now on the streets, they're given accommodation, they can't handle the accommodation, they prefer it on the streets. For a multitude of reasons, whether that's for can't handle the other tenants, can't handle the curfews, the lock-in hours, the the room checks, not being able to smoke and get high in the bedroom when they want, getting warnings, or living on eggshell type shit. So there's loads of stuff that goes on in it which damages. Bad Boy Bone, Donna. You wish, don't you, Frankie? You wish, kids. It's healthy, mate. It's got a 24-hour ban. I don't let my accounts get to there when I'm dealing with tickets. I can go quiet, me, and still enjoy my life. Not worry about making money because I've got targets to reach. It's not making money, is it? Now when you're sitting there and you're speaking about, things that open your mind in a constructive, productive manner, and you're encouraging people to stay alive, stay focused, don't give up, be strong, well then you're working. But if you sat here for hours just talking about him, and getting paid for it, you're a fraud, aren't you? At least do something for your money. You got a lot of kind people gifting to you, being very generous towards you, bigging you up, spreading you and all this, and you're not returning shit. You just sat on a screen talking about every... If I'm left alone, I don't speak about them. If people speak about me, I ruin them, as you have witnessed multiple times. So people put effort in and some don't. You'll get influencers that will clip newspaper clippings and sit there and speak about that. That's their little way. You'll get people that'll go out with GoPros and get on the bikes and take risk and test and fail and that's them. That's how you get better at influencing. That's how you get better at editing. When you've got dickheads like criminal Stalkers just sat there bringing nothing to the table. When he feels his audience is going down, he used to bring a charity situation into the picture. I'm doing this and doing that, which would make his numbers go up. But what he's realised, and he's realised kind of fast, is you can be a charity case and have the numbers going up. But you can also be a sex case, can't you, and have the numbers going up. So he's realising that when he's doing his nasty behaviour towards people, when he's doing that dirty, perverted, poisonous mindset towards people, his numbers and his gifts are going through the roof. So now he doesn't really need to go and tell you, I'm going to go and do this charity, and put himself in a situation where he's got commitments that he's got to stick to, otherwise use all them off. Now he can just sit here, cause murder with legitimate members of the public and get exactly the same amount of dough he was getting if he was looking after Faith. When he had Faith money through the roof, Faith died down a bit, had a madness with him. Hang on, I don't need another Faith while I've got these dogs to pick on. So Corey, loads of gifts. DHB, Darren G. Understand what I mean? That's his angle. Shit house, doesn't matter who he hurts along the way to get his money. You see what it is with him? Because he's all money, materialistic. When he's got a problem with you, he's targeting your money. Even though you're not trying to make money, he's screaming shit about you so you can't make money. And that's the only damage he can do to you. Yeah, he can smash your windows if you're a fart. If you don't know where his mum lives, if you don't know where his sibling lives, if you haven't got the balls to do anything to him, he'll intimidate you. But if you know where his ma lives, if you know everything about him, basically, like the back of your hand, and you've got the balls to turn up and just burn it to the ground, he doesn't go near you. And this is it. That's the end all and be all of that big hard gangster, the stalker. If you've got the capabilities to frighten the thing life out of his family, he doesn't want to know, he'll scream, then go quiet and try his hardest to get away from it. What you're seeing with him is him trying to get away from me. I've got a message off him. I got it about 6 weeks ago. And what the message was a number from Spain. And he's gone, I've tried to contact you, but you've blocked me. Just keep me name out your mouth and we'll forget about it. That's it. Yeah, alright, dickhead. Do you think you can do what you've done? And then just, because the truth's coming out, just ask me to keep my mouth shut. She'll try and find it and come back on in a minute. So you all know I'm not lying. Or she'll just save it for a few days and let you sweat on it. Is it true? Of course it's true. I've got the message screenshots. I'm a receipt taker. I take receipts for everything. So when I've got this helmet screaming like a tit on there, and then he's coming in, you told me to get to Dublin, I got there, it's obvious you know what was going to happen to you when you got there, you shit house. Alright, sounds. Just keep me name out your mouth and we'll leave it there. Unleg it, dickhead. Do you think you are? You've probably sent the same to DHB, probably sent the same to DG, probably sent the same to Fido, probably sent the same to all these, but I'm not them people. I know where mummy lives. I know where son lives. I know where everything is. Just like you know everything about me. You've been screaming and shouting, threatening me and my family for a long, long time. I've not once threatened you or your family. Because when I threaten people, I do carry it out. I'm a man of substance, man of word. I might think differently as the years go by, but in that moment in time, trust me, if I make a threat to you, it's over. Don't forget them dynamics, ever you. No one else, no one else has damaged my life. Even the people that tried to shoot me dead never damaged my life as much as this prick. Anyway, stay happy, people. Choose a life, not a knife, as always. As I say, I get receipts. I've got the message. I'll put it out there on a live tomorrow or something. Sunday night. Give you something to discuss amongst yourselves. When you see these people putting receipts, then again, I'll give them the opportunity to address it. 24 hours to redress why you're texting me messages asking me to keep your name out of my mouth. Yes, Jojo. So 24 hours, kid. Anyway, I'm not even asked. We're over here. I've got an abundance of shit. What are you scared of? Come on, come out the dark, come into the light like everyone else. Come on to TikTok like every scouser from Liverpool, clicking on. Doesn't matter if you're making £10 off for a day. It's 70 quid a week. Get your ass on here. Don't run round like negativity, making a cunt of the city. Promote, elevate, inspire, encourage. Encouragement creates courageousness. Someone's really going on with this scram. Let me just wait there a minute, the smell's putting me on. Yeah, someone's knocking up another steak. It's like they're just blowing it right through my window to me. Or is it me B.O.? What you reckon, Corey? How about you, Dave? I think we're all in agreement. That's a fine looking piece of meat. Innit, Dave? Corey? Anyway, keep it going, people. It's Saturday evening. I'm sure I can put a smile on the majority of your faces tonight. You know, flick the bean for a couple of yous. Have you running wild, hitting the kitchen, bitching, you know the rest of it. Some of you smoking, some of you drinking, some of you choking, some of you thinking, what a thing guy this man is. I wouldn't mind him spitting at me. It's not so bad. Listen, kid, your ma's a skid. It's not that bad. Your dad went mad. He went crazy. Your ma got lazy on the floor, open legs like a whore. It went off its cake. Your dad was a snake. He went biting. There you go, inviting. I went right to like poo into the toilet. You know, spoil it. You should have heard the splash on the bum cheeks like a little rash. You know, peeps, just getting warm. You're on the floor, you're going sick. Hit like a stick, I can hear you squeal. That stick was steel, it had you in a mess. Left your mind full of stress. Here we go again, ripping up this chain. You see me everywhere, got your bear by the hair. Got your bed in the room, about to fill it full of doom. Gonna let it go. Tippy tips. Couldn't be going deep, could I? Yes, adventure share. Lee G saying heard Sam Walker put DG Decor on a hit list. What was he doing? I was playing Monopoly at the time. What board game was he playing, lad? Yes, tippy tips. I do know one thing though, he will surely he'll flow. Ignore him, lad. If you're a buddy of DG's, I don't mind him. DG is, he just comes in, causes murder every time. I've still got every single recording I've had since I've came on TikTok with DG Decor, and if I put them all out there, every one he's led into a madness on purpose. Not hating on him, I swear he is. You know, he's gone through a madness. I've told you my opinion on him. Come to tell you it again. Do you want me to tell you my honest opinion on DG Decor? Ignore what the dickhead's saying about him now, deflecting. Like, DG Decor was the cokehead. DG Decor's always off his head. That's him. When DJ goes over into his space, that's the activity there. So even if he did get over there and end up on something, it will have been the powerful skills of manipulation that can rat has. Come on, what have you come over for? Why have you even came if you're not getting off it? He's laughing, just sits there with his shades on off his barney, smoking bifters. The more bifters he's smoking in the night, the more off his barney on the coke he is. Telltale signs, people pick them up. Ask anyone in recovery, when they're off their barnets, they're smoking bifters through the roof. Watch what he does when he's off his barney. Watch what he does when he doesn't. You know, when he's not off his barney, he'll smoke 10. When he's off his barney, he's done 3 packets and a bottle of wine. So let me give you my honest opinion on. I can only tell you what I know, and I don't know much. So my opinion's not going to mean much. If I knew a lot, it'll mean a lot. I don't, so it's not. Do you understand what I mean? But when I came onto the app, got onto this kid decorating. Just got on this kid doing his day-to-day things, decorating, so shared him a few times. Like I do. if you look at my repost things, I just repost things that are a little bit relevant, but normally it's kids or some sort of anything to do with Liverpool, any lad from Liverpool, any young rapper I'm following, not because I know them or I like them, I'm just seeing Liverpool, no trying to elevate. So I've just got on here, this is years ago this, but I don't know, not even asked how long ago actually. But just got on and doing this. Next minute, watching this transition into something, he's imitating all creators. So I see him then, just going, what the f*** is he doing here? How come he's gone from that to that? So now he's dressing up like CLA. And he's imitating M's, he's imitating Gemsy, you know. Basically, he trolled the fuck out of them, got dead relevant. And then stopped doing that. Carried on with his business a little bit, but then left his business behind. Whatever's gone on in his personal life, his relationships broke down. And then the last few times I've seen him, he's with a new woman. Well, I spoke to him the other week, didn't know he had a woman. I was asking him about his birds. And you've gutted that, you've left your bird and sacrificed this for that. You know what I mean? Like saying, you've got a business, you had a bird, you had an house. Are you not questioning sacrificing it for TikTok? Last week I didn't know he had a bird at that time. So the other time was the other day, innit? And from there he's moved into his own house, decorating it because he's got a new bird and wants to move on with his life. That's all I know about him. He's slippy, he's slidey. But I don't think he's got real hate there. There's no hate on him. This is what I'm saying. He might be a little getting through in life, trying to become successful in his own little way, seeing a money earner to get his life better. Who doesn't? But he's not hateful. I don't think he's ever don't know, I question the last sit down with him, to be honest with you. But every sit down with him, I seriously question the last sit down with him. But every other one with him, I don't think he's sat down with someone there and they've said, bring this up and ding this up and caused a madness with me. I think he's just done it as a way of his own little thing. But that's it, it's not much more I can say about him, is there? It's easy to call. He's a nice lad, he's probably one of the nicest lads you're going to meet on here. I haven't met none of these, so the opinion I'm giving you, and basically the opinion that you've all got, is worthless when it comes to the crunch. Why? Because he's not really interested, he's only interested in the people that know him. And if he's a good man, if he's a good kid, the people that know him, love him, care for him, respect him. And that's what counts at the end of the day, isn't it? It starts at home, right? If you're the core and then your inner circle doesn't respect you, love you, care for you, promote you, elevate you, don't expect the next layer to do it. That makes sense? So you know, like the ripple effect. Say you drop in the water, you've got all your inner circle. If these aren't loving and caring, so your inner circle is the first ripple. If these aren't elevating you, loving for you, protecting you, showing you respect, making you feel strong and powerful, you cannot expect the next layer out from your inner circle to do it. Does that make sense to you? So basically, use a like social media is like the second ripple. I want this ripple to love and care for me and make sure I'm laughing when I'm a pensioner and all this shit. Yous are just thought you're the second ripple. If I meet one of yous, then you'll understand. You know, I'll meet some of yous, and because you've heard a load of shit about me, you won't come near me. But then I meet some, you just come over to me and you must think, wow. I can tell when people are shocked with me. Yes. So look, you know what? You know, in this country, you know, when you've got like what they call minority communities. So like, let's say the Sikh. You've got like saying, say I have an incident with a Sikh, because that community's dead tight knit, small but powerful and tight knit. Because you've had an incident with one, everyone in that Sikh community sees it. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like going, oh, look at this, look at our brother get a wham. And it goes through the community, doesn't it? So that might be a little mad incident. So for example, I went in Iceland, was walking around, and this little Sikh fella started to follow me like I was a smacker. And then pounced on me, what have you put in your bag? I was like, what? So I've got him on video. Went viral. So since then there's been a few occasions. I know a Sikh from Birmingham, and before this incident I've met him a few times, and then after the incident I met him, and he's next level Sikh, because you might have seen a video on these far right videos where they're showing some fella in Birmingham, and he's got this like, looks like a pirate knife. He's got it in a side thing and there's busies there. That's part of his religion. He's allowed to walk the streets with that. So this kid that I've been meeting occasionally over the years, this Sikh kid, he's the same. He bounces around with two of them on him. Two knives. As religious, you see them Sikhs, the one who wear like the thing on their head. They can legitimately walk around the streets every day without worrying and have two life takers on the waistbands. It's weird how they can get away with it. But that's what happens. So if you're very outspoken and you're very like, don't give a shit, you'll say your piece wherever you are, you're going to upset all these minority communities as well as your own. Now your own's, because it's the majority, it'll spread and then slow down, so it's not getting the full. But in them communities, depending on who you're speaking about, it goes. Anyway, if you get what I'm saying. So I'm not saying you aren't part of what's going on. I'm just saying, just like you know, you might be sat there with the people, you might have a dog, and you'll consider that you're in a circle, and you've got humans in the second circle. Do you understand what I mean? Your dog's first. And that's just the way it is, and it's trust, experience. The people that are in your life are lucky, aren't they? Considering what you've gone through. And this is, you know, most of the damage comes from you. People that don't belong in your life. When you're growing up from a kid, most of the damage is coming from the people that don't belong in your life. Even when you grow up, that's why your circle ends up small, and you focus more on your bloodline and your family. A lot of us are starting to do it a little bit late, but if you start encouraging the kids to understand that, then they'll focus on the family early, become protective members of the family again. Especially the young lads, isn't it? Oh, he's getting philosophical. Is that the right word? How are you, Snook? Snook. Every time I say your name, you remind me of something. I just can't figure it out. Snooky. Yes, Billy B. Kyle Ryan. Julie Mack. Louise. Do you know what I'm saying? Snoobuki. Yo, Snoobuki. 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 I mean, like, remember years ago there was some shit American thing on the telly with all these helmets on a beach somewhere or something. What was it called? Snooky Geordie Shore. Yeah, that's it. Snooky Geordie Shore, lad. That's what it reminds me of. That name reminds me of that. I think I used to watch it all the time in prison. You know, when he had like a digibox on the slide. In some jails you could have a digibox, so when you came from that jail you could sneak it into the next jail and have it for months. Exactly like the definition of madness is jail. I see that another officer in Long Island being attacked by a convert. Converts are dangerous, mate.
Because what's right for some,
it's converts that do most of the violence.
find exactly what you're looking for.
On the inside,
Come, book
it's their way of being accepted.
Are you all ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Like, you get a lot of converts doing madness so they can be trusted and aligned with a particular group. You know, prove yourself, fuckface. You'll have converts attacking their own people that they were sitting with 3 years before. Mad. You'll have Scouse converts attacking Scousers. You'll have Manchester converts attacking Manchester kids. There's loads of converts from Manchester, mate. Loads. But fatwa put on his head. Price. Because you're not allowed to leave that religion, apparently. Fucking leg it, lad. Slap the fod. Big time gun dealer. He converted, changed his name, come out the other side, started calling himself in. Big hard, not fully gonna die in prison. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, their life is being attacked by a convert, which sounds like he's from Manchester or St. Helens. And them vicinities, another traitor little scumbag. That's training with Muslims. But then you'd go down south London and they're extreme Muslims. It's just the way it is. Fact. So when you've got kids going down there, so I'll just give you my experience, can't I? You know, they've had me, I've been in cells surrounded by these, I've had to toe the line. Don't mean toe the line as like, oh, I'm a shithouse. I've had to stand my ground and say, fuck. Nah, that's not for me. And what I'd say, it was a way of getting out of it, which they couldn't argue with. I'm too loyal. I'm too faithful. I'm not a rat. You know, when they were trying to get me to turn me back on Jesus Christ. And that gained respect off them more than a little shithouse shit himself. Oh, yeah, I'll do me shahada, or whatever it's called. Loads do it, just shit themselves. So, because of that dynamics, a lot of lifers are Muslims, and you've got a lot of converts from all over the country with life sentences becoming Muslims in the system. So it doesn't matter where you're from, amongst that hierarchy in the system, who are never ever getting out, who do need isolating from the majority of the prison system, actually. They do. Been screaming it for years. I know I keep on saying I know, but I do. I've been amongst it. I never went to the dispersal system because Danny was in it. So they never have us in the same, so there was no possibility of me and others. You had Willie Moore in there as well, Darren Waterhouse. So you had a lot of people in there, but I didn't meet the category as Cat 8 anyway. But I went to places like Parkhurst, Swaleside, you know, the isolated jails off the island, if you like. Just as bad, 10 times worse, mate, if I'm honest with you. So I've been to a few jails where, like, you've got English lads, Cockney speaking lads, Manchester lads, and Scouse lads, and then like one Asian kid, one Arab kid, and the extremism coming out the Cockney kid is weird compared to what's coming out the rest of them. So you had this kid from Chelsea called Tony Aftal, but they called him Aftal, but his name was Tony, and he was like the imam on the wing. So what they'll do on each wing, the one they think is the most knowledgeable within the Quran will become the sermon, will become the imam that gives the sermon. And when you're in jails like Parkhurst, your door, because it's a non-working prison, your door's just cracked open all day. You'll have your roll check but you're open all day. You've got your gym up there, you've got your gym off there, you get the library, you'll have the exercise yard, the rest of it, it's just intense, extreme, whatever it is you're doing. So if you're into the gym, MMA, you're going extreme on it. If you're into that nonsense, which the majority of them was, they'd go in on it. Now Tony was doing 10 years for being a nonce. So let's just get that right in there. He'd converted in the prison system, went deep, being thrown around certain prisons, and then ended up in Parkhurst, because that's what they were doing, to isolate them from the rest. Filling Parkhurst. And that's always been the case. The extremism in Parkhurst right now is through the roof. Why? Because it's a nonce prison, and the threat of Islamic violence in there still exists, so they're all just going, honest, trust me. So he'd hold sermons in his cell in the corner. He was a cleaner, the screws knew what was going on. Why could he come out on the land and go wah, 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 and everyone would go, and your cell would fit. Your cell's like a Walton cell, but squared off. Get what I'm saying? And there'd be like 10 of them in there. I'll be got 10 in there, all on their knees, all bowing down. He'd be doing a sermon, and I'd be padded up facing them, so it's natural for you to start linking, communicating. I was this way inclined anyway. I've got that Irish streak through me since I was a kid, so anti-government, anti-establishment, hate the police, hate the so it's probably why I got sent there, because that's what it was full of, that mindset. So when the system sent me there, it was a lot of things that got me there. So now I'm speaking to this Aftal, Tony. Every meal he's eating, this white kid with a grey beard and grey hair. He's not wearing shoes. He's eating his food without cutlery. Every meal without cutlery. He's washing his ass with his left hand. Won't use toilet roll. This is what they do. Standard procedure. Every Muslim kid that goes that shit here is wiping his ass with his hand and then swilling it with water. That's why they're not meant to shake your hand with the left hand. If you get a Muslim who shakes your hand with their left hand, that is an insult. Massive one. Bear that in mind, Jews. And this isn't me lying, this isn't me hating, this is facts, this is what goes on. I know I've lived around it. I've basically lived in it. This close away from becoming a Muslim. Why? Because I was just surrounded by them. So in this Parkhurst, you know, I'm getting to understand them. I'm speaking to this Tony. Tony seems to think that he's made from clay and mud. That's what they think. They think they come from clay and mud. This is the extreme version. You know, if you're a moderate Muslim, you go, listen, I've sat there with extremists I've sat with Tony Afdal and these notorious kids from London's that you see later on the front of the pages at the main demos. I've been in cells with them watching Afghanistan Taliban making bombs on camps where they're training. Honest, giving speeches and sermons, and they're all packed in this cell with it on sticks. Buzzing. I'm just there, observing, taking it all in. With this on me, this on me, this all over me. Look, all over me. Bang, I'm full of it. So I know what I'm dealing with. When I'm screaming about Islamists, when I'm screaming about extremists, I know what I'm speaking about. I've sat with some of the most dangerous ones you come. Yeah, they get labelled off the Barnets, so they're suffering with mental health when they go off the Barnets, but Malik Akram weren't off his Barnet. Malik Akram weren't off his Barnet. He was just raw and pure when it came to that type of Islam. So I'll put a little post on my site today showing, you know, I had this kid in me ma's house. I had this kid praying in me ma's kitchen. You know, I'd say to me parents, come out. Let him get in there and pray. When he started encouraging me little nieces and nephews to do it, I went, whoa, don't come here again, lad. And this isn't waffling, it's all documented. Go and look at it, just read up on it. There's some receipts there, but obviously you're not going to get the real relationship in the paper, are you? I hadn't spoken to him for months, and then all of a sudden got all sorts of national newspapers contacting me, Daily Mail, all these big papers contacting me. Would like to speak about you and your relationship with Malik Akram. I'm thinking, I just knew him as Malik. I'm just thinking, what are you on about? You know, and then Malik, and then a picture came up and wow. Been in me Mars, sat in me Mars, slept in me gaff. I've slept in his gaff. I even done 2 nights in Blackburn in this little garage. This little like building that he had, because this is what he used to do as well, and I dealt him a few times. What he used to do, he used to have this laundry business where he'd clean the whites and all the things for this thing. And at the hub of this, what else he'd do? He'd have a big van, like them big containers. He'd get one of them every couple of months. Drive up the country to meet his brothers, fill it with all shit that you'd need in places of war, and then he'd get them containers to likes of Afghanistan, Iran, places like this. Now that brought him a lot of attention off the feds, you know, MI5, Special Branch and all this. So while he's on this charity run, because most of them get on the charity run before they go to when they feel he can't do anything more about it, it's martyrdom to them, and that's what it was with Malik. Martyrdom, something needs to be done. So I'll tell you the truth, I was nearly there with him, but I'll get to that. So so I've met him. He's got on me because of Danny. This is how he come into my life, because of Danny. And at this time Danny was converted, and Danny's doing IPP, and the first time he ever came to anyone's attention, Malik, was because he was protesting about Guantanamo Bay, and also because of he felt people that were on IPP prison sentences were getting kept illegally, just like the people in Guantanamo Bay. So he's latched on to Danny being his mate inside, and when he's come out, there's pictures of Malik somewhere with an orange jumpsuit on and a big plaque above his head, standing outside Strangeways prison, free the IP prisoners. So that's how I've come into Danny. He was on me before he done that. When he's on me, he's gone and done that. And then that sort of cemented his little... So I'm just with him doing this shit. I go up to his, he comes... Don't forget, I've been in Blackburn for 2 years, so I've met a lot of deep Islamic people from Blackburn, mixed with them, trained with them, ate with them, got accommodation off them. So when I'm speaking about, I've seen apartments above halal premises where the shower rooms have got power cords coming into the shower cubicle with whizzers and grinders on them. And the first thing I thought was they're cutting bodies up, and I still think that now with, you know, with the grooming. I know it's far-fetched, but to me it's not. But also it could have been cutting meat up there. Do you understand? For the butchers downstairs. Again, this isn't lies, you know. This is in Blackburn on St. Peter Street. Lived above a flat. Where I lived, I spoke to the kids facing. The kids sold tyres. You had this garage, and next door to the garage. So you just Google this incident, because this is where I was living around this time when it's all popping off. Around next door to this tyre garage, you've got a car wash. Now these kids are Pakistani, and these kids are Iranian or something like this, and there's ongoing disputes between them. So when I've left the flat there, I'm mixing with these kids, just getting what I do there. You know, looking at them, they used to get big lorries of tyres from somewhere, Dubai I think, and then sell them on a cheap. So they were Brewsters. And they were doing all these videos outside my flat with like 30, 40 Lamborghinis, all gold-plated cars and shit, doing, you know, promoting the tyre shop. Well anyway, the car wash shop next door started selling tyres. So it just caused friction. Eventually it's gone off. These who had the tyre shop first, they've tried to kill him. Ended up killing a little girl. Went on the tolls, got nicked, got lifed off. Anyway, let me get back to me and Malik. In the same town, Malik's had this facility where he used to do good stuff and get all charity stuff dropped off and then fill the container up and then fuck there. And when I'm round him, he's getting caught up emotionally about, obviously, the harassment with the police, the special branch all over him, disrupting him, trying to ruin his family. You know, this is what they do to you. They isolate you, turn your family on you. Just all mad shit, have your family thinking you're gone and that. But they do it on purpose, so they prevent you. Once they've got you alone, once they've got you isolated, you're prevented from acting the way they think you can. So I went through all them, you know, in the car with him all day, just in some banger, bang on to death, the pair of us, him, big beard, getting out the car in the middle of the road praying. This is how deep into it he was. I'm fed to just cruise past us and leave us. It was obvious we were bang on to death, do you understand? So anyway, going on about this nurse. This nurse was catching, really pulling on the heartstrings, Malik's heartstrings, and this nurse was about 67. I think she was like an Iranian professor. And what the nurse was doing, just like he was doing, getting stuff, but you see what else they were all doing, and this is what else you need to get onto, because this is a black market, and this is dangerous to speak about. What they do, they tap into pharmacies, right? Now you'll have loads of these Muslim families tapping into pharmaceutical companies. So when you go to the chemist, it's normally a Muslim family, right? And what members of that family will do, will have like a little side market like Malik did. Now Malik did this a lot. And what he'd do, he'd go, haven't you got no punters who get medication? Haven't you got no people who've got disabilities who get medication every week or every month? This is how we work. If you can get them to sign over to me and let me prescribe their drugs, we'll give you a percentage. And I was thinking, well, what's the gain in this? He said, because most people get a prescription of drugs off the doctor, but they're only taking 3 or 4 items and then not even using the other items and just leaving them in the cupboard, and they're building up. We can take them, recycle them, and work around it and end up with thousands of shit. And I think what they were doing with this then was going to that nurse, giving them to this nurse. This nurse had an operation that was going to war-torn areas, supplying medication to the injured, and so all the meds from these countries where they're doing this mad shit was getting sent over there. So the CIA have gone on it somehow and started labelling her a terrorist. Took her off the streets where she was, transferred her back to America and put her in prison. So now he's round me fuming about this. Now they put her in prison. She was helping millions in this country, bam. This is what he's fuming about. And this isn't bullshitting, lad. This is first hand. I'm not here to lie. I'm not here to upset. No, I'm just telling you how it is. And he's mild. He's mild. So anyway, so he's telling me, have you got a passport? Have you got this? Have you got that? And I did have a passport, but it was out of date. And he was going in like so many months, and he had to do something and then go. If I had my passport, I would have been going with him. I'd tell you why I never went with him, because I was on bail and shit. It's the only reason I never went with him. I had this court case for them secretaries and all that. And we were going to go to America and do protests outside the Gaffney Elder in a prison in Texas. So when he's gone along with his thing, he's been declined his first time. He's been declined the first time. And this time round, he's speaking about the way he's going to get through. And what he done is, he registered himself with a charity. In this country, from this country, he's registered himself with a charity that was working in Texas, about half a mile away from a synagogue. So he's gone there on this charity route, slipped through with a permit to do charity work, got in there, got to this synagogue, and the shit he's screaming in there is about this nurse. Now the CIA and all them American federations and all that, they don't want you to know about this nurse, because what they've done to her, it's meant to be, you know, one of the worst breaches of human rights you're going to hear of. So he wasn't a threat in there. He held people hostage, but he weren't going to kill no one. He was just screaming, free the nurse, free the nurse. But to shut him up, they'd just gone in and went. So that's just one experience with me and someone from the Islamic world in Blackburn. But that pharmaceutical thing there, that's a massive black market that still on goes in this country right now, and they're making millions on the back of it. I'm not lying, go and check it out. You want to ask me more about it, contact me. That's what I mean. If you want to know the ins and the outs of these type of individuals, just give us a shout, lad. Being round them. That's why I hold more passion against them. I used to align with them a lot. Anti-government, anti-authority. And that's why you've got a lot of young kids converting to it. Anti-police. That's what they project. So for example, you know, I'm in prison when Lee Rigby's getting killed. And I'm a passionate kid. These are banging doors. Bang, 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 bang. That's what it's like in there. This is 2000s, mate. This is early. 10 times worse now. So you've heard me say about prison where, you know, what they done years ago was a drastic wrong move. When we were growing up, we were separated into categories. You'd have up to 16, and then up to 18, and then from 18 to 21, and then you'd have cons. So what that meant was, the kids that couldn't be rehabilitated from 1 to 16, and then 16 to 18, and then 18 to 21, then we're all at experience, then we're all at knowledge in crime. You know, they've been schooled for the last 10 years in crime, punished in crime, everything. They're in the adult system. So what it prevented was this new kid coming into the system, mixing with these experienced criminals. Do you understand what I mean? 16-year-olds would be kept away from these that have been doing madness. They'd be kept away from them. Because they all used to be in categories of madness. You know, the kids would be doing this, robbing your car radio, taking your bike out your shed. The 16 to 18-year-olds will be taking your telly off the wall. The 18 and 21-year-old will be taking your full car off the path. Do you get what I'm saying? But what they done in prison years ago was took the age categories out. So now you're at 16 to 21, all mixing. So they started that for a bit. Oh, let me turn it round. They moved the 16 up to 18. And then removed the 21. So now you've got 18 mixing with cons in some prisons. The only rule, you couldn't share a cell with them. So you had 16 up to 16-year-olds, 16 to 18, 18 to 21 cons. They removed the 18. No, they kept the 18 and made, instead of 16, right up to it. So you had the 15, 16-year-olds now mixing with 17, 18-year-olds. And then they removed the 21. So you had 18-year-olds mixing with 30, 40-year-old criminals. And what that done there was passed it down. You've got kids on the wing playing Scrabble with armed robbers that's been at it for 20 years. Looking at these kids going, he's game. Boss driver in. Work when you get out. There's a number. And this is what it is, like a community of crime. If you go in there being able to rob a car, you're getting out of there understanding where to sell it, how to strip it, and how to make more money from the back of it. And then you're on one. It's exactly the same when it comes to the extreme mindset in prison. Do you understand what? Exactly the same. So you've got pure kids who can't do the bang up. I told you, this is when I first noticed it. When I first noticed the system bowing down to Islam, and it was all on purpose. It was definitely on purpose. It was deliberate. You see out here the way bowing down, changing regimes, making it more accessible to this religion, not to that religion, and all this shit. That encourages other people over here who want more benefits to go over there, who want more, you know, incentive lifestyle to go over there. So what they done when we were in prison years ago, you had a couple of faiths in prison, and that was it. Christianity, you didn't even see Judaism years ago when we were kids, to be honest. Just Christianity, Protestant, Catholic, Saturday church, Sunday church. But all of a sudden, you know, you've got this kid who's landed in the prison, who's a Muslim. And because of these human rights acts and all this shit that they brought in, he's entitled to have his religion and practice his religion regardless of where he is. So now the prison's got to get him someone similar to a priest. Why? Because he's not willing to engage with a priest. He's only willing to engage with an imam. Now, when we go to other prisons and we get put on the induction wing, when we used to do it growing up, it would be a priest coming to our door. What you've got these days is an imam going to the door of these new inductee prisoners, which are young, encouraging, we have a service, everyone comes, would you like a rug? You can come out early on Friday, you'll get a shower before you come, giving them an incentive base why he should become a Muslim whilst he's in this prison. This is what's happening from the get-go. So when they're switching it on us, all of a sudden now, this is how it started. We're on the wing. You've got one Muslim kid down there. It's not hating, I'm just telling you how it changed. You've got one Muslim kid at the end of the wing. We're hearing a door get opened an hour before us all. He's getting let out to have a shower. He's making a phone call. And then they're taking him over to the mosque at 2 o'clock to do his prayers. And then bringing him back at 3:05 when we're all out on association. Going, where have you been? Where have you been? Oh, been to pray. Oh. So, you know, other kids that couldn't do the bang up were seeing him get out an hour early. They were seeing him getting a shower. Like another shower, when you're only entitled to get so many showers a week and that shit. He's getting an extra shower because you've got to clean your feet or whatever before you pray. Now, this is how it slowly crept in. Now, because other Muslims are coming into the wing, they wanted to be around fellow Muslims, and the authorities thought it would be better if they put them on a wing with fellow Muslims. Now you've got 2 kids getting let out an hour earlier than everyone else on a Friday afternoon. Now you've got 3, now you've got 4, now you've got 5. Now they're getting rugs given to them off the prison system. Rugs. The kids that love decorating the cells can't have rugs. All of a sudden these Muslim kids can have rugs. So these kids are thinking, if I become a Muslim, I can have a rug. They also get given flasks off the mosque so they can take food behind the door overnight that's hot and stuff and keep them well. And when they go for Ramadan, they get outside catering and the food is next level and everyone wants to eat that food for a month. So there's loads of incentives for you to become Muslim within the system. Why? For white peas, you get out your cell more. White peas can't do the bang up. You get loads of little accessories for your cells. You get opportunities to go down there on a Wednesday, Thursday evening and sit in the mosque with your other mates. So you're getting a lot of things which can entice a young kid into it. That on top of other kids, especially other converts, going at them, come on, come out. Eventually the numbers have swelled. So now in the prison system up and down the country, about 10 years ago, longer, 20 years ago, now in the prison system it is a 4-day week. It's a 4-day week. Why? Because they've shut Friday down to cater for the Muslims in the system. Fact. No jail gets association of a Friday afternoon or a Friday evening anymore. It's done. Why? To cater for the Muslims, Muslim prayer and all this stuff. So now of a Friday afternoon, no one gets out the cells but visits who's got a visit and the kids who are going to mosque, and they're all entitled to have a shower and they're all entitled to get this shit. Now that was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that when that came into the prison system. And it's not lying, that's how they've done it in the system. So when I'm out here and I'm watching exactly the same tactics being used, and you're watching now, right, listen, what you're hearing off these Labour politicians, we think we should have a 4-day week. We think we should have a 4-day working week and we should have Friday, Saturday, Sunday as an extended rest. The catering for the Friday for Muslims. Trust me. Go and look at most Muslim controlled countries. What happens Friday? Shut down. What happened in prison when prison up? Friday, shut down. And this isn't me being hateful or whatever. This is just how it is. And within that religion, within that prison system, the majority of that religion within that prison system, I'd say 45% of the Muslims sat in prison right now are nonsense. Fact, straight up, raw nonsense, mate. Honest. That's why they all convert, half of them, mate. It's the safety net. Them Islamists will accept any piece of shit that they can sacrifice at the end. Trust me. Numbers are shields to these rats, and if they can convert you, silly, stupid little English boy, you're the one that gets the bullet before them. You're the one that gets beheaded if they need to make an example of someone. You get treated like shit. Why? Because you're a traitor. You're a traitor. The first thing them Islamists in that system look at, the first thing of what the Taliban look at, and people, groups like this, the Muslim Brotherhood, the first thing they look at about any soldier that comes into their theatre of war is the integrity. The fact that you turned your back on a prophet that they respect close enough to the Quran. Trust me. They know who's waste. They know who can be thrown to the wolves when it's time. And it's all you silly converts. Only time will tell, won't it? Now that's the truth about the prison system. So when you've got people that's being sat in a box thinking I know everything about the prison system, no you're not. You've been scripted. You come out your box with an envelope this big and started saying freedom of speech rallies. What happened to the girls? What happened to the gangs of groomers that got you your reputation, got you noticed, got you recognised more than most? Got loads of people loving you. Have you got out and left that behind? Jumped on the freedom of speech shouts now? Where are you taking us all now, Tommy? Do you get what I'm saying? So have a broad mind of what's going on. All of a sudden he's an expert on Islamist and extremism because he done 6 months down a block for screaming about grooming gangs. Stick to the programme, lad. Don't become foreign. Don't become European. You know, you've got that image of Christ round your neck for a reason. Stop acting like a Jew. Anyway, keep going. Yeah, so that was it, Malik. Under odds to death he was. Me having him in my house, me having him round me being by him, me sleeping in his gaffs. Just means the squad that he had all over him, which was a naughty squad. If you know any of these kids, when they get a squad on them, they get a squad on them, next level squad. So that squad that was on him was on me. Do you understand what I'm saying? And with the intelligence they had on me from years ago, with these IEDs outside police stations and nightclubs and this, that and the other, to the feds, to prevent, to MI5, special branch MI6, it's a dangerous mixture there. A lot of the lads that are converted within the system, they do it knowingly. A lot of them do it voluntary. Why? Because they just want to get through the jail unscathed because of they've upset that kid outside in the ton if they see him. He's a nonce. You know, all these things. And then when they get to the door, they just drop it like it's hot. Go back onto being who they are and what they was, and then they'll go back into jail and then fall back into it. Act dead deep. Act like they're on it to get out of jail. Fall off again, but just, yeah, I'm a Muslim, but not practice as intense as they was to prove to people in there that we are deep Muslims. It's like they get forced to. A lot of the lads will probably want to watch the telly of an evening, but if you're in a particular jail on a particular wing, no Muslim has got the telly in the cell. Why? They think it's indoctrination them. think it's ruining them. They're half right, aren't they? Extremely. So in the system, if you throw your telly out like I did, I used to do it all the time depending where it was. Not on a Muslim thing, just because it was battering my head. You know, when you've had a telly for too long. But they take it as a sign of extremism. And what happens to a lot of lads in the system who are anti-authority like myself and succumb to the advances of these very high, sophisticated, educated terrorists, because they're not dumb, they're not daft, you know, they've got professional degrees and all this shit. So they're easy to think, impress you with their intelligence and an articulate way of coming and grooming you and and you get caught up in a mess with them if you're not on the ball. Them Arabs are the worst. I met this kid called Sam. That was his English name. From Manchester, he was an Arab. He was the worst manipulator you can come across. I seen this Sam from Manchester, Arab. So we practiced the Saudi Arabian version of the Quran, and it's one of the extreme versions, okay? So you had this gangster from Liverpool. Everyone knew him. He was a partners with John Smith, another heavy gangster from Liverpool. Colin Smith, sorry. He was a gangster with Colin Smith, partner. And his name was Ronnie Scott. And he was from Speak. He looks like a little Spanish man. Ronnie Scott, decent man. This Sam converted Ronnie Scott. I was there seeing it happen. All of a sudden Ronnie Scott's got a Quran in his pad and shit, and I'm just thinking, wow, what happened to you, lad? He converted with this extremist from Stoke. He was already Muslim, but Ronnie's when I've landed in Oakwood, Ronnie's training with this Muslim kid, Gaz, from Stoke. Now he's one of them, you know, when you see these extreme firms from Stoke, he's like a main kid in there. So they've already got him in the cell, locking off with him every night. When all the other scousers are over there, you just see Ronnie going in the cell, sitting off with this Arab and this Stokey. Within a month, he got his Quran. Haven't you read this yet, Darren? And I'm saying, shut it, lads. What are you doing? Honest, but it was that dynamic that you do what you want, lad. Because that's how they pull it on you. They're one of the boys. They can get parcels outside for you and that. So all the drug dealers are linking in with them, getting the links, you know, to these kids from Bradford, you know, who can get major weight from Pakistan and Afghanistan. And it's just a big, dirty network of money laundering and crime and terrorism and all that. But when shit happens, it's only the scousers in the system that take up. Scousers and Manx, actually. You know, you've got a handful of Manx and Scousers in the system. So when you've got the people like Lee Rigby and that getting done, in these prisons where you've got nothing to lose, because you've got Scousers who've got to lose, mate. This is what I'm saying, you've got Scousers, just like you've got them terrorists in there that are never getting out. You've got Scousers lifed off. What for? Killing our own kind, shooting our own soldiers dead, shooting our families dead, terrorising our own communities. That's why our Scousers are lifed off. What are them terrorists lifed off for? Targeting our communities, killing our girls, killing our lads, blowing up concerts. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And this is the dynamics why I'm screaming at you, soft, going to jail, getting yourself lifed off. You see how much damage happens in there when you know you can't do nothing to defend your people outside, because this is what they're doing with our dangerous kids. They know who our dangerous kids are. They know what dangerous kids are going to defend their state if anything goes wrong. We're all getting lifed off. I'm lucky to get out. Look who they're leaving. Look who they leave behind. Look who they're putting in custody. All the real... I know the offences are bad. I know the game. I know they're shooting people dead and all this. But the authorities know where the real defence is. And it's with these the kids in the system.